If you've ever climbed into bed and felt that sharp, slightly cruel cold that seems to cut straight through the duvet, you already know the problem. A bedroom can be heated and still feel miserable. Because comfort isn't just air temperature, it's three things working together, and if one is wrong, you'll feel cold even when the thermostat says you shouldn't. Here are the three in plain English. First, moving air. A tiny draft across your skin strips heat fast. Second, cold surfaces. A window beside your bed can make your body lose warmth even if the air is decent. Third, a bed that starts cold. Those first 10 minutes decide whether you relax or you tense up. Now do a quick test, no tools. Stand by your bedroom door. Put your hand near the bottom gap for 5 seconds. If you feel a cold stream, that's not a bit of airflow, that's a jet, and it's one of the biggest reasons bedrooms feel cruel at night. Here's your first practice action, and you can do it tonight in under a minute. Roll up a towel or a thick jumper and press it along the bottom of the door on the hallway side. That's it. You've just cut the cold feed line that keeps replacing your warm air with corridor air while you sleep. You haven't heated the room, you've stopped the room being attacked. Safety note quickly, if you have any fuel-burning appliance or open fire, never block vents or flues to chase warmth. Use a carbon monoxide alarm where appropriate. Okay, now here's the Victorian mindset that modern homes often forget. They didn't try to warm the entire house like one big bubble. They did something smarter. They built a small zone of comfort where it matters, and they reduced the invisible losses that make you feel cold. That's why the bed mattered so much. Victorians treated the bed as a microclimate, a pocket of calm air and trapped warmth, not a cold piece of furniture sitting in a cold box. It's also why curtained beds and canopies weren't just drama and status, they blocked draft lines and helped hold a warmer layer of air around the sleeper when rooms were colder and draftier. And once you grasp that, the title clicks. Without central heating doesn't mean without comfort. It means comfort was engineered differently. Here's the first big loop, and it's the key to sleeping well in a room that isn't particularly warm. The #1 Victorian bedroom heater wasn't the fireplace. It was the bed itself, layered, protected, and often warmed before anyone got in. And that sounds extravagant until you realize how efficient it is. Warming a bed takes far less energy than warming an entire room, and it targets the exact moment people suffer most, those first 10 minutes when your body hasn't built its own warm pocket yet. But there's a twist. None of that works properly if the room is still hitting you with moving air and cold surfaces. A warm bed doesn't fix a cold jet on your neck or a freezing window beside your pillow. So next, we start where Victorian comfort really begins, the bed as a microclimate, layers, barriers, and a simple geometry of keeping warm air close to the body. And once you see it, you'll understand why modern bedrooms can feel miserable even with heating on. The Victorian bedroom trick modern homes quietly forgot is simple. They didn't treat the bed as furniture inside a cold room. They treated it like a room within the room. Because at night you stop moving, your body produces less heat, and that's when the smallest air movement feels brutal. So the goal isn't make the whole room warm, the goal is calm the air around your body and trap a stable pocket of warmth. That's why canopies and bed curtains weren't just for show. In drafty homes, a curtain around the bed did one job extremely well. It broke the airflow. No cold stream across your skin, no constant stripping of warmth, just calmer air and a warmer pocket that your body can maintain. You don't need a four-poster to copy the principle. Tonight, the modern version is just barriers and layers. Start with the most important rule. Warmth belongs on top, not underneath. If you add layers under you, you compress them. Compressed layers trap less air. You feel warmer for a minute, then you wake up cold again. The real insulation is the loft above you. So here's the first practical move. Add one extra top layer that traps air well, a duvet plus a blanket, or a duvet plus a throw, or even a second lighter duvet, whatever gives you loft without feeling like a brick. And if your problem is drafts rather than not enough blankets, do the second Victorian move. Block the draft line around the bed. If your bed is near a door gap, a window, or an external wall, you don't need to heat harder. You need to stop the cold path from reaching you. A simple trick that works: put a heavier throw at the foot of the bed and fold it up higher than you normally would, like a low barrier. Not to add warmth, to calm the air and stop that cold wash from creeping up. Now, the other thing Victorians did instinctively was avoid placing the bed right beside the harshest surfaces. If your pillow is near cold glass, you're basically sleeping next to a radiator that runs backwards. It pulls heat from you. So if you can't move the bed, you soften the surface. Thicker curtains drawn early, or a second curtain layer, so the bed isn't facing a cold window all night. And here's the key idea that makes Victorian comfort feel better even when rooms aren't that warm. They weren't chasing heat spikes, they were chasing evenness. If you're constantly adjusting layers because you feel too hot, then too cold, your microclimate never stabilizes. The best bed setup is the one you can keep on all night without fighting it. But none of this fixes the most hated moment, the start. That first 10 minutes when the sheets feel like cold paper and your feet feel punished for existing. And that's where the Victorian solution gets almost unfair. They didn't wait for the bed to warm up. They often pre-warmed the bed itself, so you climb into a ready-made pocket of warmth instead of starting from zero. That's the next step, the safest way they did it, why it's far more efficient than heating the whole room, and how to copy the principle today without doing anything reckless. That first 10 minutes in bed, the moment your feet hit the sheets and everything feels like cold paper, was exactly the moment Victorians engineered for. Because you can have a warm enough house and still dread going to sleep if the bed starts off icy. So instead of trying to heat the whole bedroom all night, they often did something far more efficient. They warmed the bed, not the air, the bedding, the pocket you actually sleep in. The most famous tool was the warming pan, a metal pan on a long handle traditionally filled with hot embers and slid between the sheets to take the bite out of the bed. But here's the important part. It worked, and it was risky. It could scorch fabric, it could burn, and anything involving embers is not something to play with. So the principle matters more than the antique method. The safer Victorian habit, and the one that still makes sense today, was pre-warming with hot water. Stoneware bottles and later hot water bottles were filled from a kettle, wrapped in fabric, and used to warm the bed before sleep. That wrapping wasn't decoration, it was the method. It stopped burns and made the heat gentle. And once you understand that, the whole thing becomes obvious. You don't need the room at summer temperature, you need the bed to stop starting from zero. Because when the bed is already warm, your body relaxes faster, your shoulders drop, your breathing slows, and you stop fighting the room long enough to fall asleep. Here's how to copy the Victorian principle safely in a modern bedroom. Warm the bed shortly before you get in. Put the heat source under the covers for 5 to 10 minutes, then keep it in the bed as you settle, not against bare skin, not under direct pressure, and not near anything that feels too hot. If your problem is cold feet, keep the warmth at the foot of the bed. If your problem is that your core never settles, bring the warmth closer to your torso through layers, still wrapped, still gentle, still not pressed directly onto skin. And do it in the right order. First, calm the room, door closed, curtains drawn. Second, warm the bed. Third, get in and let the layers hold that pocket. Because bed warming works best when the bedroom isn't actively stripping heat away with moving air. Now, this is where people get frustrated. They try to warm the bed, and it helps, but the room still feels aggressive. A cold stream hits their neck, or the window beside the pillow makes them feel chilled even when the air feels fine. And that's because warmth isn't only lost through air, it's lost to surfaces too. A cold window next to your bed can steal comfort quietly all night, and a single draft path can undo everything by stripping the warm layer off your skin. So, in the next section, we're going after the invisible enemy. We're going to cut the draft paths, calm the air, and reduce the cold surface effect without sealing the room in a way that causes damp or creates safety issues. Because once the room stops attacking you, the bed microclimate stops being a temporary trick and becomes a system that feels genuinely better. Even a perfectly warmed bed can feel uncomfortable if the room is still attacking you. Not with temperature, but with invisible forces, a cold stream of air you can't see, and cold surfaces that quietly steal warmth from your body all night. So this section is about making the bedroom stop behaving like a heat drain without doing anything dumb that creates damp or risks safety. Start with the simplest truth. The most uncomfortable drafts are usually low and small. That gap under the bedroom door, the edge of a window that doesn't quite seal, the place where cold air slips in and runs along the floor like water. And here's the thing, you don't need a big opening to feel a big effect. A tiny gap can create a cold jet that hits your legs and makes the whole room feel restless. So the first move is basic. Block the door gap. A proper draft excluder is ideal, but even a rolled towel works as a test. If the room instantly feels calmer, you've found your main comfort leak. Next, the window. Most people think the window is cold because of the glass, but very often the worst comfort loss is from air leaking around the frame. That's what creates that sharp, cold next to the bed feeling, even when the room is technically heated. So your goal isn't to obsess over expensive upgrades. Your goal is to stop unwanted air movement. Close the curtains early and make them actually cover the frame. If you've got thick curtains, use them. If you've got a blind and curtains, use both. You're not doing it for darkness, you're doing it because the bed feels colder when it's facing a cold surface. Now let's talk about fireplaces, because this is where bedrooms get tricky. An unused fireplace can act like a giant open pipe to the outside. It pulls warm air out, it drags cold air in, and it can make a room feel like it never settles. So yes, reducing that draw can massively improve comfort, but you don't do it by sealing everything blindly. You want controlled, sensible reduction. The room stops being vacuumed, but the structure still stays healthy. And one safety line that matters more than comfort: if you have any fuel-burning appliance, a real fire, or anything that relies on a flue, you do not mess around with blocking vents or flues. Warmth is not worth that risk. A carbon monoxide alarm is not optional in homes where it's relevant. Now back to comfort. Once you block the obvious gaps, you'll notice something slightly shocking. You don't need the bedroom to be hot. You need it to be calm. Calm air, no cold jets, no icy surfaces right next to your head, and a bed that's already warm when you get in. That's why Victorian bedrooms often felt more comfortable at night, even when the room itself wasn't particularly warm. The room wasn't fighting you, and the bed microclimate did the rest. So now we tie it all together, because the Victorian method was never one heroic fix. It was a stack of small moves: bed warmth, calm air, and reduced surface harshness, done in the right order. In the final section, I'm going to give you the repeatable routine you can use every night. 4 steps, easy to remember, and it works whether your bedroom is slightly cool or properly cold, because it stops the comfort losses first, then builds warmth where you actually sleep. Here's the Victorian bedroom plan you can actually use tonight, not as a history lesson, but as a repeatable routine. 4 steps. Easy to remember. Step 1. Block. Stop the cold jets. Start with the gap under the bedroom door. If you feel any cold stream at floor level, block it. A draft excluder is ideal. A rolled towel proves the point. This one move often makes the room feel calmer within minutes, because you've cut the hallway cold feed that keeps replacing your warm air. Step 2. Soften. Reduce the cold surface effect. Draw curtains early and make sure they cover the frame properly. If you have a blind and curtains, use both at night. The goal isn't darkness. The goal is that your bed isn't facing a cold window all night. And if your bed is right beside an external wall or glass, give yourself distance if you can. Even a small shift changes how harsh the room feels. Step 3. Warm. Warm the bed, not the entire room. Add 1 extra top layer for loft, not underneath where it gets crushed. And pre-warm the bed if those first 10 minutes are your worst moment. A hot water bottle, used gently and through a cover, turns the bed into a ready-made pocket of warmth, so your body relaxes instead of bracing. Step 4. Stabilize. Keep the air calm through the night. Close the bedroom door. Don't let the room share air constantly with a cold hole. And don't chase comfort by overheating and then letting it crash. A steady, slightly cool room with a properly warm bed often sleeps better than a hot room with a cold start. Now, 3 rules. Never break them. Don't leave a draft path unblocked and expect bedding to fix it. Don't sleep with the bed pressed against the coldest window or wall if you can avoid it. And don't compromise ventilation safety. If you have any fuel-burning appliance or open fire, vents and flues stay clear, and a CO alarm is part of a responsible home. That's the Victorian advantage translated. Not magic, routine. Calm the air, soften the cold surfaces, warm the bed, keep it stable. And once you do that, you stop trying to heat a whole house like one bubble, and you start sleeping warm in the only place that matters.